Huh, it says we're streaming. Guess I should see if that's true. Yeah, I can see myself on Twitch. I can see myself on, well, I can almost see myself on Mixer. Go to live stream. All right, hear my voice? Yeah, I can see myself on Twitch. Okay, cool. And looks like I'm up on YouTube too. All right, great. We're not really ready to start the stream yet. That's going to be at 2 o'clock my time, which is in half an hour. But I kind of, so we're going to start streaming using a new profile that we've created for company type work. So, oh, should we play in the Nightmare Zone? Huh. Yes, there are two of me. So normally I have this camera right here rotated a different direction, so two other people can sit over on this side, and I can keep myself off camera. Then for patch note streams, I'm the one who's talking most of the time, and so that just seems like a waste. So we're gonna have just mostly the one camera this time around. People are voting for me to start a Nightmare Zone community, so I guess that's what we'll do. So I'm going to get a community all set up for the patch. But yeah, so I'm not going to be streaming on my own gamer tag anymore. We're going to try to stream on a company-owned profile. Just, keeping those two things separate is probably a good idea. It's just Chad says, I understand there would be punch and pie. We're providing patches. Patches is what we're providing. You have to provide your own refreshments. Yusedo, I played Days Gone. I've played just only the first 45 minutes of it, so I don't feel like I've gotten a proper exposure to it. That's about as much free time as I have ever to play games like that. Oh crap! I thought this character, I thought this profile had already been through this sequence before. I guess I just got to get started with the tutorial. Then I'll quit out and I'll start a new one because I want to start with some randomly rolled characters. Mav Thrika wants to know if the upcoming patch, or the patch that actually has already landed, is going to lower the difficulty in standard zones. No. We have heard that there are some folks who want to have sort of a chill mode to play the game in, and that's on our list, but we haven't done that yet. Yeah, Yusedo, I'm still in the, let's see, actually, it was Optimus. Optimus Narkle says that the map on Days Gone is way bigger than it seems at first. And so far, yeah, I've only been, I think I've just barely left the gas station and gotten my friend back home to the tower we live in. I think that's where I am. And so I haven't had the opportunity to see the scale of the map yet. Okay, so we're going to exit to the main menu. Not worry about playing through the tutorial. Let's see here. Demon King Oda, you are correct that we did at one point increase the horde size in standard mode. We kind of just increased horde sizes across the board. Once we realized we could, as we were working on Dread Zone and Nightmare Zone, we just increased them everywhere because we always intended for the hordes to be a little bigger than they were when we shipped. So, Luke Green, we are about to talk about what's in the update. We're going to talk about it starting at 2 o'clock my time, which is I'm on the Pacific coast of the United States. So, so in about half an hour, we're going to go through the patch notes. Right now, I'm trying to get a community set up that's appropriate for showing off some of the notes. I like that everybody's got sort of their favorite zones. That they're hyping. Really? Do I have to complete the tutorial? Dang it! I forgot the rules of my own game. Okay, fine. Be these guys. I don't usually play these guys. John Payne, this is on PC and Xbox. The patch hits both simultaneously. Okay, well, we're going to skip. All right. Okay, got to switch my controls here. Invert Y. I wonder how fast I can get through the tutorial. Guys ready for me to race? Let's see if I can get through the tutorial before Brant gets here. Oh no! There went my bat. It's almost like that was scripted to happen at exactly that moment. All right, I'm tired. Let's go.
Dude, you're gonna die if you can't scare up a stronger weapon.
Don't care about my weapon. I think the testers can do this in less than 5 minutes.
Wow. After all this time, these people still hope to find their loved ones. There's a thought. Waiting to make sure your friends aren't dead. I didn't leave you, man. We've been over this. You only came back because you forgot your stash of food. Oh, the food I selfishly shared with you? Right.
I guess I probably don't even have to kill these zombies, but I mean, leaving them behind me just feels foolish. Oh, thanks, buddy. What do my characters end up getting named? Oh, I don't have the community menu yet.
What is this place?
Hmm.
Central booking?
Oh no! You'll be fine,
Nasty.
Kevin.
Just like that thing we saw.
Wait, I'm Kevin. Who are you? Bear! Oh my gosh, my friend's name is Bear.
For food and beds.
That's awesome. Yeah, sorry I'm not paying attention to the chat right now, guys. I've got to get through this tutorial quick.
Bit before.
I thought I was just going to be starting a new rando community, but nope.
Something's wrong. I feel like I'm burning hot.
Oh no.
Let's see if we can find you some medicine. That is a shitload of Zeds. Just keep quiet. We'll slip past him.
I guess I technically probably don't have to do this either, but it's so fun. Yeah, so the biggest changes we've talked about so far that are coming with the patch are we were adding some World War II weapons and some ways to get the World War II weapons. We're making it so you can demote your leaders without getting them killed. And a bunch of other little things. We'll get into details real soon. Ah, what the? Okay. Whatever, that didn't happen. Can't skip this one. Alright, what have you guys been saying? Tow trucks. You know, we remember people love the little piggy tow truck. Making tow trucks work would be a big challenge. I was really, really surprised and impressed that they worked in Grand Theft Auto 5. It's a hard problem to solve.
My shoes. Seriously, dude. It's like my fucking blood is on fire.
I've heard that symptom before.
It sounded like that guy belched.
Zombie with blood all over it.
Looks like Megan posted the link to the patch notes. So if you guys want to read ahead, go right ahead. But we'll talk through what each of the patch notes is, what they mean, as soon as the proper stream starts.
Tell her I sent you.
All right, we're almost done with this. Mirror Doctor. How's Terry doing?
Why are you still here? The last trucks left days ago. He never gives up, does he? Okay, what do you need?
Blazing Tomato, we've heard people are interested in being able to play the characters from the original game. I think it would take the right mode to support that. Like, we were able to sort of pour all the characters together into one big vat with Breakdown. And so if we ever did something like that, that might be the place to give access to versions of the old models. We couldn't really do the old faces though, because the faces in State of Decay 2 are a much higher level of fidelity. So we would have to recreate or recast those faces from scratch.
Take your flashlight and look for a sample case in there.
So someday, if we ever got the chance to do it, that would be really cool. But I don't think we're just gonna dump those characters into into the normal pool of characters, just because I feel like they deserve something more. Like, they deserve to be treated like, Marcus really is Marcus, and Ed really is Ed. Hawks really is Hawks.
No cure? That's bad. I'll need
Got folks in the chat saying they loved that they loved Breakdown, so appreciate that. That was one of the first things I did when I came here, was I got to work on Breakdown. So when people love Breakdown, it makes me happy.
It's here. It's time to go.
You know I can't leave Charlie.
Crazy Train likes the cannibal missions. That's good to hear too. They're some of the weirdest things we put in State of Decay 2, but it makes me happy that people are discovering those and liking them.
Say goodbye.
Charles Walters, Update 8 is out now. If you just, I don't know, if it's not showing up on your Xbox, just restart it or whatever. There's, it dropped at noon, so about an hour and a half ago I started downloading it and I'm playing it now.
One option now.
Oh wait, I can't leave yet. I forgot where I was. Give me your gun, I'll do it. Take that, Terry. Boom. All right, let's go.
I hope you're in a better place now.
Sure.
Dude, I'm sorry. I know I'm a fuck up. But please, don't let me go out.
Oh, go away, Bear. I want to talk to this guy.
Someone's got to come up with all our great plans.
Thank you. I hope I never have to repay the favor.
Hey, come over here for a minute.
Thank you. Okay, Reese. It doesn't matter what I pick. Boom, because I get to pick it here anyway.
Stop and move.
And we don't care.
Fine shot.
Meager Valley, sure. Because we're going to restart as soon as we get there. I assume that I'm going to be able to skip the tutorial once I do that.
How the hell do we do this without the army around?
Squiggly Bent, we've been treating the 5th skills on characters as pretty core to their identities. And they're all triggered by traits that the characters have. And so respecking the 5th skills, it feels like it would be kind of almost like a reset of the entire character. It would kind of undermine their identity. And so basically, we want characters to have some part of them that is just intrinsic to who they are. And so when we were doing the respec books, we figured that we would just leave that one thing, that one part of the character alone, and let the players sort of reselect everything else. I got an achievement. I entered a nightmare zone with a profile I hadn't done that with before. Megan Briggs, you haven't missed much. By the way, so we've been having some trouble with Restream chat lately. So if Restream chat dies on me and I stop seeing new chat messages, I apologize in advance. All right, I gotta get the right Slack channel open. So if Megan sends me anything during the proper stream, I will see it. Let's see here. Lost Boy, actually, Dan Mode suggested lever action rifles in a meeting the other day. It would take new animations, which is, that typically has been a thing that's made it difficult for us to add new things, but there's definitely interest in it over here, so we'll have to see what's possible.
We're out of gas. I guess we better start scavenging.
Okay, blah, 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 blah. Sure. Okay, so, exit game. Hopefully that means I can start a new community, skipping the tutorial. Sada Brat, you've only heard part of the story, so keep listening to Twain's messages. The colony. Delete. Boom. All right. Skip tutorial. Cascade Hills, I guess. And okay, I was flippant about it before, but Nightmare Zone means we're going to see Brant die a lot. Dread Zone means he'll be in a little more danger, but he won't be like instant death all the time. Scarproof, we so far have not expressed any interest in doing PvP. It would be a major change to the game. Like a lot of our networking stuff just assumes that you're never actually fighting hand to hand with another player. And so it would be a big deal for us to add multiplayer, to add PvP multiplayer. And so far we haven't really taken any steps in that direction. Okay, so do you guys have any preferences here? Last time, actually, I think one person voted for Dread Zone, another person voted for Nightmare Zone. And I can't tell if I'm still seeing chat. Let me double check on Twitch here. So the last thing from Twitch was 6-0. And then Scarproof. Okay, yeah, so it looks like I've got the latest here. Except, no, I'm seeing Mixer chat moving, and I'm not seeing it on Restream chat. So I'm gonna restart my Restream chat. Okay, got a lot of people saying Nightmare over on Mixer, so I guess I'll go with that. Charles Walters, you cannot get me to shave my beard. I'm not going to take a bet like that. I did shave it one time just for fun recently, but I basically had a beard almost consistently for a really long time. Okay, here's where I wanted to be. Oh, hey, we've already got one. Okay, so Jalen Daniel goes by Danny, using his last name. Let's see if I can... Matic, it's okay. Don, do it. Meta. Okay, well, hey, look at this. We've got 3 characters using their last names as nicknames. Let me keep going with Matic, though. Let me see if I can find a more interesting example of somebody using their last name as a nickname. Dave Blackwell, Chester Garrett, Mario Klein, Luis Perry, Victoria Barbosa, Eric Butcher, Patrick James, Marshawn Crockett, Patricia Trish Sutton, Marcus Clay Krause, named after one of our artists. One of our writers. Aaron Kagura. Oh, yes, Montresor going by Monster. That is the perfect example. Now let's keep going with Meta. Erickson, Flanoy Casey Huber, Rebecca Williamson, Mac Morrison. Did Mac come from Mark or did it come from Morrison? I'm not sure about this guy. So, no, BritBot, we're not going to change the nicknames of any existing characters. This is just new characters who are rolled up. It used to be that they could not get nicknames from their last name because of a bug. And we've fixed that. We've changed it so that they can now. And the thing is, we had written 1 million nicknames already for the last names, and we thought they worked, and then they didn't work. And so we just basically unlocked a whole bunch of new nicknames that you've never seen before. Tiff. Slayer. Probably comes from being a tabletop gamer. Not as interesting. Madeline Grace. Kaylee Diaz. Coates for Dakota. No. Judy. Insith. Paul. Tony. Ron for Ronald. Jeremy. Spider for Webb. Okay. Yes. Nice. Okay. Oh, you guys can't even probably see this unless your resolution is really high or connection's really good. You probably can't even see these names. But we have got a good set of names here. I am very, very excited for this. All right. I think I'm going to stick around here, though, until Brant gets in. Scarproof? I'm wondering. I don't know if we have a nickname for you in the game, but we might already. I'm going to send a note to myself. Scarproof. And if not, Scarproof is going to be you're our guest next week, aren't you? So yeah, so we should definitely get your name into the game if it's not already. Yeah, Xenocidal Angel is correct. That I definitely do recommend bringing experienced characters into Nightmare. Though, if you put a lot of effort into a character and you bring them into Nightmare, it is kind of risky. Your absolute favorite characters, I wouldn't necessarily recommend bringing them to Nightmare. But if you've built up some folks that you don't mind losing, then taking the Nightmare might be some fun. Sadabrat, adding motorcycles is tough because not only do they require a whole new set of animations, but I think imagining the amount of work that went into the system that, say, Grand Theft Auto uses for characters picking up their motorcycles that have fallen on the ground, getting on them and riding off, handling tilt and balance and the physics of a motorcycle, it's a whole new can of worms that we have not yet cracked open in State of Decay because we've always had big four-wheeled vehicles. So motorcycles would be a big deal. We'd love to have them in the franchise, but it's not something we could easily just patch in without a lot of work going into it. Black Ops is in there recommending that people bring their A squad into Nightmare. Probably because he's mean. Nikolai Benz Hansen, yes, new maps are on our list. They are difficult. We have already said, that we're going to be doing some kind of new experience, a new experience in a new map very soon, sometime this year, is with taking the player back to Trumbull Valley. But that's a little different from just adding a new map that's like the old ones. But we have heard people talk with us about how much they would love to keep playing the game in a new map, and so that is on our list. I should preface this for people who don't know. When I say that something is on the list, that does not mean it's necessarily going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty right now about which exactly. We've heard so much feedback, and it's more feedback than we could ever respond to in a short amount of time. And so deciding what things we're going to do next, what things we're going to be able to add to the game, after this update, after the next update. There's a lot of big decisions, a lot of prioritization we have to do, a lot of deciding, what we have the time and the people to be able to do first, second, third. And so whenever I say something's on the list, that means we've heard you, we're taking it seriously, we've written it down, and when we're deciding what to do next, it's one of the things that we're going to look at. But it doesn't mean that you should expect any particular thing to happen any particular time. Just because, because we don't even know yet. A lot of the things that we've put on the list, we haven't really had a chance to evaluate and figure out what some of the next steps are. But we can definitely show you what, in the past when people talked about, we want to see some historical weapons. We want to be able to demote our leaders. We said at that time, we're putting that on the list. And now we've got an update that contains them. So definitely some of the things that we say that to will happen. We just can't promise you which ones it's going to be in advance. Jeebus James, leaderboards are always tough because they get immediately hacked no matter what you do, or exploited, or somehow the legitimacy of them gets undermined almost instantly. And so it's difficult to figure out the right way to do them. Especially now, if we had a server-hosted game, it would be a little bit more manageable. But because there's a lot of room, we leave a lot of doors open for players to be able to mod the game and edit the game and play their own way. It's really easy for people to mess with leaderboards, and so I'm very cautious about leaderboards because of that. ZDat dude says multiplayer Breakdown would be sweet. We've heard a lot of the comments people have made about sort of their nostalgia for Breakdown, and got some thoughts along those lines. But again, nothing that we could ever possibly promise. An underground cave mission. Barry, one thing that we have we talked about early on when we were discussing the bases for State of Decay 2, one we thought would be really fun was an underground base that looks like a small base on the surface, but when you go inside, it's actually deep, deep underground, and there's a lot of room down there. But that was going to raise some audio and art issues that might have been solvable with enough time and money, but given how many other things we wanted to get done before we shipped the game, we were like, if we cut this, it saves us so much time we can put into other things, and so we ended up not doing it. But it is an idea that we've thought about that could be pretty interesting. Steve069 asks, how long do you plan on making content for this game? We plan to support the game right now kind of as long as there's an audience that cares enough about it for it to matter. Because, if nobody's playing the game, obviously us making content for it is a waste of everyone's time. But right now we've still got an audience that's interested in it. And so that means that, basically we kind of keep evaluating it as we go. If there's still an audience that is big and interested and actively playing the game, then it keeps feeling like it's the right move for us to continue making content for you folks. So I can't make any specific promises about how long that's going to be, or where the boundary line is, or at what point we'll have to sort of say oh man, there's just not enough people playing the game, and we have to kind of put it to rest and start moving on to the next thing. I don't know where that threshold is. I'm sure that there is a threshold, but so far we haven't hit it. So far there's been enough people, enough new players still finding the game, playing it, especially through Game Pass, and there's enough people who are actively playing the game every month that it makes it feel like this game is still alive. There's no reason for us to stop right now. Let's see here. So Dean Luxton wants to know if the replica bastard sword is a nod to a certain book or TV series. It is a nod to a fan of State of Decay who sent us a sword. that we imitated. That's the main thing it's a reference to, and it's also a reference to a made-up IP that Doug Williams came up with, called what do we call it? Gentleman Cadaver, I think. So that's what it's a nod to. It's just all made-up stuff, and our love for our community members. So as usual, we're having some trouble with Restream chat, and so periodically I'm gonna have to restart it, and I'm gonna miss some stuff. So check out these characters. I'm again showing off the nicknames. We're restarting with the Nigel Meredith profile. We're playing a Nightmare game, and we've got a bunch of people with last name nicknames, including Monster Montresor, who got their name from the original State of Decay, and Spider Web. So enjoy. It is inverted right now. So. Because I had to get through the tutorial.
Why do you do this to me?
I had to get through the tutorial. I was gonna put it in Brant mode, but
you're a mean person.
I think we might be open to multiplayer right now, which we might want to avoid some chaos by turning that off. Haha! If any of you were gonna sneak into our game, cut you out.
Yeah, nice try.
So people are excited to see Brant here.
Hello, everybody.
Scarproof
Hello.
just referred to as Taco Breath. No, I don't really smell anything in particular.
Other than despair and self-loathing.
Yeah, and Axe body spray.
Oh,
Just kidding. Brent would never put that on his body. I'm just
good
kidding.
Lord.
Let's see here.
You're a horrible... You know what? You are horrible.
Tonvig wants to know if State of Decay is ever going to be on the Switch. Definitely not making any promises there. That would be a big deal if we were ever to do that. I never say never to anything if I can help it, but that would be an enormous deal. So, if something like that ever happens, it will be very, very exciting and fun and surprising for everyone. Thomas Gold wants us to not have new traits get revealed by conversations anymore. Thomas, is that specifically because some of them have negative effects, or if I took away all of the negative effects? I've already in one past patch, I already reduced and removed a lot of the negative effects and only left a few in place.
Are we playing? What mode are we playing?
We're in Nightmare right now.
Oh, come on.
Have fun.
You do hate me.
I do.
Oh, yeah. Go antagonize the Screamer, please.
So we're going to start the proper stream in about 4 minutes. I guess I can take off my headphones for now, though. So today's stream, we're going to be playing through the... oh, that's right, Brian. Sorry. Brian just mentioned that my response to that replica sword, I might have been talking about the wrong sword. The replica bastard sword, is that different from the skull sword?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was misremembering. So they asked if it was a reference to any particular TV show or anything like that.
Nope. It's reference to a gift that someone sent us here at the lab, which is...
Okay. I thought those were the same sword. Are they not the same sword?
So it was based off the same model and then has two different skins.
Oh, okay. So that's why I was confused. Okay, that makes sense. So Rodan asks, see here. Oh, okay. You know what? Actually, I'm going to save the questions that are about interesting stuff for the actual stream itself. So, Rodan, I'll save your questions for just a few minutes.
Poke the bear. Yes, Hendo. Geoffrey is really good at poking the bear.
Poke! Okay, anyway. So we're going to do some fun things today. We're going to go through the patch notes for 8.0. We've already gone through a lot of the big ones, so we might be able to do that fairly quickly, though. I don't know, getting me to stop talking.
It's a really exciting day.
Yeah. And then we've also got some highlights of things that people in our community have posted on social media that we're going to share. So that's going to be fun. I've got some headphones for you so you can hear the audio for those. And... do you have a little bit of sound? You should probably have a little bit of sound.
I don't know. I'm just freaked out. We shouldn't be playing Nightmare. under any circumstances.
Well, this was they like Mixer voted. The restream chat was down at the time that I was selecting, but I opened up the Mixer chat and Mixer was just like nightmare. They were like nothing but nightmare. So, it was their choice. You can blame them.
I'm gonna die. How many times? That's the real question.
Well, maybe I should front load the message about the patch note about the nicknames, just so that we can still see them while the characters are alive. Maybe they'll be the first one I talk about. But we've got 1 minute left until we start properly.
I'm even more freaked out now that I haven't seen any zombies.
Yeah, Scarproof, we are very excited to get to hang out with you a little bit later. We had a lot of fun with Fall Down, and we're happy to have you to potentially have you here as a guest, or at least on the stream as a guest.
Yeah, Scar. I'll love playing with Scar because he saves my butt.
Let me see if I can. I want to make the text a little bigger here, but I don't think I can. Oh well. Okay, so you've claimed the base. Well, maybe we're about ready to get started. You guys ready to get started? Let me. I'm gonna refresh the. Oh yeah, because I just started with a new profile, so we're gonna get all the achievements all over again. Okay, I'm gonna open up the chat again, because we're gonna be focusing a lot on the patch notes. I'm gonna be able to answer questions, like a few questions here and there. We're not gonna be able to keep up completely with the with the chat. We'll do our best to answer the questions that we can. But with that said, I think it is 2 o'clock, so let's get started. Hello, survivors. Welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I'm your host, Geoffrey Card, and today we've got a special announcement. Content Update 8 is out in the wild. It came out just like 2 hours ago. We just downloaded it on our streaming machine here, and it has got a lot of good stuff. We've already done a couple of streams talking about some of the big ticket features, so we'll be able to breeze by those pretty quick. The biggest one that we're really excited about is, of course, the World War II weapons, which you can see here. We got 9 of them pictured here. There's actually 13 if you count the special rare variants. And so if you want to, starting today, if you want to go and search at gun stores, if you want to watch for the historical weapons trader, if you want to search especially the rare containers, or if you spin up any characters who have traits that sound like they might be carrying old-fashioned weapons, you can get access to these guns, and we're excited to see what you guys can do with them. But let's go over here and look at. Hey, look, we got Brant.
Hi.
Brant's here. He's playing the game. In fact, we should show you guys the game because he's got some of our characters open. So one of the other big features that I'm really excited about, because the character generator and the name system were kind of my baby. We've got some new nicknames that have come into the game with Content Update 8. Basically, we made a whole bunch of nicknames based on characters' last names, but there was a bug that was preventing them from getting into the game, and because all the names are generated randomly, it was hard to notice that it was bugged. But we finally figured it out, and so now check out this guy. So this guy's name is Stephen Webb, but he goes by Spider. Spider Webb is his name. That was not possible before we fixed this bug. Who else we got here? Okay, we got Jalen Daniel. His last name is Daniel, so everyone calls him Danny, which is a thing we couldn't do before. So there we go. And then we've got one more that's actually a reference to an old friend. Luke Montresor here goes by Monster. And you guys might remember that actually we had a character in the original State of Decay whose last name was Montresor, who went by Monster. And she was actually the inspiration. The fact that we had a character named Montresor who went by Monster was the reason that we put the feature in the game to support nicknames from last names. And so we've got it in there, and I lucked out and actually rolled that exact character for the stream, which was great. So if you're among the people who love to cycle through characters and find people with weird, interesting last names, you've got a lot more to work with now. So that's a lot of fun. So let's see. So we already mentioned World War II weapons. That's in the patch notes. We already mentioned where did I stick the little title for nicknames? There we go. New surname nicknames. Another thing I should mention about that. It used to be that if you had a character who was like historically a cop or a soldier, somebody who was likely to go by their last name in day-to-day life, if they had a very, very long last name, particularly like a name from Thailand or another few cultures that tend to have very long last names, sometimes their last names would get cut off by the UI because they were actually too long for a character panel. But we put in a feature that now, if somebody is kind of required to go by their last name because of some of their traits, we now have backup nicknames for those last names that are very long, so that they can all so they can still go by their last name like you'd expect for somebody from that background, but the name will actually fit into the UI and it won't be as much of a problem. But yeah, so I guess let me crack open these patch notes. Actually, I need to move some things around on my screen here.
Yeah, we've got a lot to go through.
We should get to them because not only are we going to be going through the patch notes today, we also have some like videos and images that we've collected from the community that we want to highlight. And I know you guys are going to have questions too. In fact, before I move on, Rodan had a question before the stream that I wanted to answer. He asks, what do you think of having access to the tombstones of dead members and seeing a little funny saying of how they died, like wanted to hug a jug? That's a great idea. And actually, that was something that we had originally planned to have in the game. Like many, many things. We ended up having to cut it. But that is on our list. I kind of keep a list of features people have suggested or features that we long wanted to put in the game and never had the opportunity to. Things like demoting leaders, which we'll talk about in a second. I've got a list of those, and basically memorializing dead characters, finding the best way to memorialize dead characters is one of the things that's on the list. So thanks for suggesting that, Rodan, because even if something's already on our list, hearing it from you guys lets us know that it's something that the community is interested in. So communicating with us about it is really important. In fact, there's an entire channel on our Discord server that's all about, it's called Wishlist. That's all about making suggestions. And I'm trying to become more active in there because there's a lot of valuable material in there. Even if, again, we've got a lot of stuff on that list, and a lot of it probably, will take forever to make it into the game, if it makes it in at all. But hearing what you guys want really helps us to prioritize and figure out what's most interesting and what's least interesting.
There's some great ideas in there too.
Yeah, there's some really, really good stuff that comes out of that. Okay, so Blaze was hoping that we could show off the advanced toolkit on the stream today, but I don't think we can because we're playing the very beginning of a game in the retail build. The chance of us getting...
Yeah, we can't cheat anymore.
I don't think we can cheat. So I'm sorry, Blaze. I wish we could show you how that worked, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to pull it off. But, so let me, open this thing up a little bit more. Let's start going through...
This is going to be a really boring playthrough to watch because I am so freaked out about Nightmare. I'm going to be sneaking just about everywhere.
So I mentioned earlier that one big, we aren't going to be able to show it this stream, but we already showed it on our last stream. Another big feature that we're adding to the game is demoting your leaders. So it used to be, if you had a leader and you changed your mind about the kind of community you wanted to run, which legacy you wanted to go after, which leader facilities you wanted to build, the only way to change your leader was to get your leader killed. That wasn't what we originally planned. We originally planned for demoting your leaders to be a part of the game. And so it just sort of got put on the list, and now we've finally gotten the opportunity to put it into the game. So a lot of people were asking for it. A lot of people kept reminding us of it every single stream. Can we please demote our leaders without murdering them? So that's in the game. And we did a whole stream about that before. So if you look back, if you're watching this on YouTube later, look back at the previous video. You can watch us go through the process and how it works.
Thanks, Ember. We think you're fantastic, too.
So, and one aspect of it, too, that's really important is when you demote a character or exile a character, we now stick a little marker on them in the world to help you find them at your base. Because that was, because you can't just demote them from the community screen. That's very impersonal. You have to actually go up to the person and do it face-to-face and watch them cry. We thought that would, really add to the experience. So when you have to do that, we put a little marker on the map and also in the world so you can find them and track them down.
And make them cry.
Because that's really what this game is all about.
That's right, making random survivors cry.
So the next item on the list, non-player characters are now a lot less aggressive towards nearby enemies when talking to you. They will still defend themselves if attacked, but they won't break out of a conversation to chase a zombie that's across the building from them. This was a really important thing because, whenever I'm playing the game, I know I had this problem a lot where you're talking to someone and then suddenly they break off to run halfway across the room and fight a zombie that you know their friends were perfectly capable of taking care of themselves. And so you'd have to basically make sure you were completely safe before you could have a real conversation with an NPC. Now, when you're talking to an NPC, if a zombie comes right up to them to fight them, they will turn around and fight. But they're not going to just go running off in a random direction while you're in the middle of a conversation. So that's really nice. Another couple that we talked about already on the previous team, I'll just mention really quickly. When you switch characters at an outpost, your old character now teleports home rather than heading out on foot and probably dying, at least in the harder zones. So you switch characters, your character teleports home instead of running home. Another one is when you switch characters, your flashlight will stay on. So it used to be if you switch characters, you would lose the fact that your first character had their flashlight on and the new character would have their flashlight off. And that was just inconvenient. So that's fixed. And then another one that I've been hearing a lot about from people. Followers no longer fall through the world or spawn in the sky when exiting vehicles. That was a big deal. So basically, you would invite a follower with you on a trip, and they would get in your car, and you'd be at the top of a mountain. And then you would drive downhill, and then you get out of the car, and the follower would remember the altitude they were at when they got in the car. And so when they get out of the car, they would teleport to that altitude.
Just like real life.
And then fall down. And in one case, actually, somebody reported a follower landing on their head, which was great. So there are no more drop bears in the game. We've removed that feature. And also, there used to be a there used to be a bug where a character that was following you, if they got lost behind you, they would teleport to you several feet above your head and then land on you. So they don't do that anymore either. So no more drop bears. You should be able to have followers behave like normal human beings. Let's see, what else? Okay, so I already mentioned the nicknames. That one is next on the list. Here's one. Sort more rare ammo. What does that mean? So I'll just read it. The sort ammo action at the storage facility has been rebalanced to make some of the rarer ammo types more common. So let's say you really like your 357 revolver.
Oh, and I do.
You had such a hard time, unless you actually got the revolver ammo press. It was really hard to get enough 357 ammo to feed that gun. So now, what you should get is, like, when you use a sort ammo action, basically we give you random bullets from random calibers. And but they were weighted so that more common calibers would drop more often, rarer ones would drop less often. But it was so overbalanced, you would really just almost never get 357 or another couple of rarer ones. So now you should get about twice as many 357 rounds.
I think we need to refresh.
Oh, we were losing track of the chat? That happens. Okay, so you should get about twice as many 357 rounds. You should get about 50% more 44 and 7.62 rounds. You should get about 15% more 5.56 rounds. And then you should get about a quarter less 9mm rounds. Because in order to raise all of those other ones up, we had to push something else down. So 9mm will not be just, you won't be swimming in 9mm bullets the way you used to be. At least not quite as much. But then that extra 25% that we dropped on the 9mm, we are using it to push up the rarer ammo type. So there's still, the rarity is still the same. Like, the rarest ammo is still the rarest ammo, just like it was before, but it's not quite as ridiculously rare as it used to be. This is just another cute one. When you upgrade an infirmary or a clinic, it no longer ejects your blood plague patients.
Oh.
So it used to be that basically what you're doing is swapping one facility for another. And so as the first facility was getting destroyed, it would just pop out the people that were in there. And most people didn't notice because they weren't really using the infirmary to keep blood plague patients stable.
Right.
But now that people are playing in nightmare mode and dread mode, nightmare zones and dread zones.
Everyone has blood plague all the time.
Yeah, and so people were starting to notice, hey, there's this inconvenient thing where I'll upgrade my infirmary, it will pop my people out, and I won't notice, and they'll all die of blood plague. So that won't happen anymore. No ejecting patients. And then, just a little minor one, the Scrum certification skill now grants a speed bonus to building facilities. It used to just give a bonus to facility actions, a lot of which are practically instantaneous. The longest lasting facility actions tend to be the building actions. So now the Scrum certification skill affects all of them. We've got a question from Blazing Tomato 80. Let's see here. Any chance we get a random event of seeing an exiled member back in the map? That is a very good question. That is definitely one of our favorite suggestions that people have made. It is very high on our list. That's not happening right now with this update, but that is one that we have definitely heard and taken very seriously. So hopefully, maybe sometime in the future, something like that could come around. Zero Sum wants to know, did the getting out of a car bug get fixed? I don't know. There were definitely some bugs that were fixed that were about getting out of a car. I don't know if that particular one got fixed or not. It's not in the patch notes. But we are constantly fixing bugs all the time, and not all of them make it into the patch notes. So I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that that thing doesn't happen to you again. If it does, please, please, please contact support.stateofdecay.com, because we want to know about it. And we want to be able to help you guys, get out of weird situations like that however we can. Let's see here. Redline1982 wants to know if there are any new achievements in the game. No, not with this update. The Choose Your Own Apocalypse update did have achievements that came with it, but this is just we usually don't package achievements with our regular content updates that don't have a big flashy name. So this one doesn't have a big flashy name, so it doesn't come with any new achievements.
Oh boy.
So KNT asks if sort ammo will take longer or use more labor at higher difficulty. Right now, I don't believe so. I don't think we've messed with sort ammo unless Brian is about to be horrified that I'm saying that and is going to correct me in Slack. I do know that they did up that Brian did up the time and the cost of some facility actions in Dread and Nightmare Zones, particularly in Nightmare Zones. But I'm not sure whether or not that was one of them. Either way, we didn't change it for this update. So if it is different, it started being different back during Choose Your Own Apocalypse. Scump the King wants to know if we're going to add dogs to the game. Certainly not right now. The problem with dogs is that they have a completely different skeleton from all of our other characters. They would need to, a completely different set of animations, a lot of different, a lot of support to make them work. And we actually had a lot of discussions early on in the pre-production for State of Decay 2 where we were asking ourselves, we're making a game where practically everyone can get killed. Do we want to make a game where dogs are getting killed? And there's a lot of people who have very strong emotional reactions to seeing dogs get killed, and even in a game where you're killing a lot of humans, dog killing can be a deal breaker.
Yep.
We're like, we're really already pushing the envelope when it comes to, being absolutely brutal with our humans. Do we want to push it even farther? Maybe not, So right now there are no dogs in the game, and we don't have any immediate plans to put dogs in the game. I understand there's a lot of folks who love, like canine unit, type dogs and everything. Would love to see that kind of thing in the game. We don't have any plans right now to put dogs in the game. Let's see here. Okay, Brian wanted to update me that the ammo costs for various facility actions did increase in Dread and Nightmare Zones, and so because it costs ammo to do the sort ammo action, that does cost more in Nightmare mode. It doesn't take more time or more labor; it just costs more ammo. Were you about to say something?
Just that I'm paralyzed with fear playing this.
Well, let me move on to some more of the patch notes. Let's see here. Where was I on this list? Scrum certification, items. Oh, okay, so this is the one that Blaze was bringing up. Let me find right here. Advanced toolkits. So we already mentioned this on the previous stream, but quick repair toolkits. It used to be that all they were was faster, but we had some people report to us that in their experience, they usually repaired their cars when they were in no danger. And so having it repair faster just wasn't that much of a bonus. And so they would never spend the extra parts that it takes to make one of the quick repair toolkits. And so since it was useless to them, we're like, well, let's make it interesting. So at the same cost now, you can make, instead of quick repair toolkits, you make advanced toolkits, which are basically the same item, except that instead of just being faster, it also repairs twice as much health on your vehicle. So enjoy that. It doesn't cost any more. It's just better now. And so hopefully that'll make people feel like they have a strong reason to carry those because, they don't stack. You carry one in your inventory, you want to be able to heal as much vehicle damage as you possibly can.
Yes.
So that's that. Another minor one, we fixed pyro minefields. We found out that pyro minefields got accidentally broken. They were using the wrong rocket type, and so they were not setting zombies on fire. So now they're using the right rocket type, and they are setting zombies on fire. Hence the name pyro minefields.
Yay.
And let's see here. Interesting. Yeah, so Thomas Gald points out, and I think that this has been pointed out to us before, that the conversations that characters have that sometimes grant traits to characters, that for a lot of folks, they haven't been happening anymore. And I know that there are things that try to prevent the same conversation from repeating too many times because it could get kind of boring. I wonder if maybe that's kicking in for people who've been playing the game for a long period of time. Or we have to look into it. I'm not sure what would cause them to stop happening altogether. I don't think that was the intent. So we'll have to look into that as a potential bug. Oh, Niacine asked about the Blood Plague Juggernaut counting in the stats for your Xbox Live stats that count how many of each zombie type you've killed. I think for a while the Blood Plague Juggernaut was not counting as a Juggernaut for that. I believe we don't have that in the patch notes. I feel like I watched somebody go through the process of trying to fix that, though. And so, even though it's not here, I think that might actually have been fixed. Don't quote me, though, because I could be wrong, because, if it's not on the patch notes, it makes me doubt myself. But I feel like we might have fixed that. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong about that.
Oh, these guys are shooting guns.
Black Ops, he suggests that being able to pick followers from the community screen would be helpful, basically, so you don't have to go through the effort of going and tracking down the follower and finding them physically, and also being able to get them from an outpost would be really useful. That's actually already down on our list as a community suggestion, so thanks for bringing it up. Like I said before, when you guys bring stuff up, even if we already have it on our list, it lets us know you guys are interested, and so yeah, so that one's on the list already. More patch notes. Let's see here. Okay, so in response to players finding certain crossbows overpowered against Plague Hearts, we've reduced crossbow damage across the board. Though, of course, headshots against zombies are always 100% deadly, so most of your uses of a crossbow will not be changed by this. It's mostly filling a Plague Heart with crossbow bolts will have a more of the expected reaction to, turning it into a pincushion won't kill it quite as fast as it used to. So, yeah, so that is crossbow damage nerf, basically, because people were killing Plague Hearts with way too many crossbow bolts, and it was starting to feel kind of silly. Another thing about crossbows, though, characters can now spawn with crossbows. That used to not be the case. When we first introduced crossbows, the only way to get them was as loot or through special missions or constructing them at your base, but characters weren't spawning with them. So now characters can, and there's actually a new crossbow hunter trait. So if you want to just spend forever on the character generation screen waiting until you see the crossbow hunter trait, you can get a character who potentially spawns with a crossbow. Spawning inventories aren't always 100%. Sometimes you get two traits that are competing with each other to decide what the character's weapon is going to be. So I'm not promising you that every character with the crossbow hunter trait will spawn with a crossbow, but a lot of them will. Here's another one. So it used to be that Plague Hearts drop loot, and a lot of the loot that they drop is damaged, like weapons and things that they drop will be damaged. But there was a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a problem where bolt-action rifles and revolvers were being damaged inside Plague Hearts, and the way those guns are supposed to work, their advantage is they don't get damaged in our game. Not in real life, but in our game, they don't get damaged. Problem. So that's a problem. So that bug is now fixed. So... no damaged bolt-action rifles or revolvers in Plague Hearts.
Speaking of guns, I need one badly.
Are you just... I don't know. This is Nightmare. Do you want to use a gun? I guess maybe in an emergency.
It's always better to have one and not use it than... You know what I mean.
It's like Dumbo's feather. It's just having it there. You don't actually have to use it, but it just makes you feel like you can survive. So another one that we went over in the last stream, unloading magazines. We would show this if we had a weapon that contained any rounds. But we showed it on the last stream that basically if you hold, I believe it's holding the Y button on a controller or the R key on a keyboard by default, and I think you can remap some of these keys. But holding that button will, basically I think it's normally the drop button. Holding that button will unload all of the bullets that are currently loaded into your gun, and we'll dump them into your inventory, or into a container, or into like your supply locker, or onto the ground, or wherever they need to be. It'll dump them out, so then you can use those in a different gun if that's what you want to do, or sell them, or sell the gun without any bullets in it. Or there's lots of reasons why players wanted to do this, and now they can. Another big one is when you have a vehicle. We showed this in the last stream too. When you have a vehicle parked at your base, it used to be that you had to load things from your backpack into the vehicle and then transfer them from the vehicle into your base. It was this 2-step process. It was really obnoxious, and so now that's not true anymore. Now you can actually transfer things directly from your inventory into the base when you're at a parked car. Oh, hey, Brian points out that. That one advantage of the crossbows doing less damage is that they do less damage to you when NPCs are using them to fire at you. So, assuming that they're not headshotting you with them. Styles, let's see here. Yeah, wants to know, can we add human raids we'll have to defend from? That would take some AI work to make it look good. Like, I actually did an experiment at one point, like during the, that one enclave where when they show up, they immediately just start rudely asking you for resources, and they eventually demand that you give up your base to them if you keep giving them what they want. When I was working on that mission, it originally actually ended with them attacking your base. But the problem was just shoving a bunch of characters into your base and making them fight was chaotic, and it didn't really feel like a human raid. And so I think it would take some more AI work to make a human attack feel legit. But we've heard that request a lot, and so it's the kind of thing that that we've thought about that we'd like to do if we ever get the opportunity. But it's not a thing we could just easily drop into the game and have it feel the way I think you'd imagine that it should.
Yeah. We
want to do things, if we're going to do things like that, we want to do them right, which means waiting until we have the opportunity to really, devote the resources to do them properly.
I think we should make a rule that we can always cheat when we're going on stream because it makes me feel better.
That's a good idea. Well, what we'll need to do is get a less twitchy PC in here. I think that Wonder might be looking into that.
And a better player.
Well, then we wouldn't need... It's kind of an either-or thing. Either we need a PC that we can play on and cheat with, or we need a better player. Either one of those would be would be a good move.
Truth.
Steve069 wants to know, how many zombies have I killed? I believe that there is a stats page you can look at on Xbox Live, and I have forgotten how to get to it. But there is one, I swear. If you poke around on Xbox Live, there is a page. I've seen a lot of people posting screenshots of it. There's a page where you can see your personal stats, and how many zombies you've killed, I believe, is one of them. Also, how many characters you've gotten killed, how many of different freaks you've killed, how many legacies you've completed. There's several stats like that.
All right, I'm gonna make a run back to the car. I think the car actually has gas.
Naya Cyan wants to know if we can get our bolts back when we're fighting a plague heart. That's an interesting question. I'll have to bring that back in to discuss with other folks. I hadn't heard that raised before. So Explosive Toast wants to know if there's any new luxury trade items. Not in this drop. It's interesting. I haven't heard people ask for those before.
I like that name, though.
Oh yeah, Explosive Toast. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It sounds like something you'd see in an old Mission Impossible episode or something like that.
What?
Or maybe Get Smart. It's more of a Get Smart level.
Would you like some breakfast?
But yeah, so we haven't added any new luxury items. It's not out of the question. Just the main thing is just how interested are people in that. So let's get on to some more of the patch notes. In just a few minutes, too, we're going to do our little community spotlight thing. But, okay, I just talked about the toolkits, the pyro minefields, crossbows, unloading, transferring. This is just a simple one. When you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, you can click on the leader slot now on the community screen.
Oh, beneficial.
Yeah, so the community screen... the way that development ended up playing out, we built it for console first, for a controller first, and then ported it basically to the mouse and keyboard, and that was an oversight. We forgot to make that one part clickable. And so basically that one part you needed to hit the space bar on it in order to use it, and everything else was clickable. And that felt silly. And so we went back in and we fixed it, and it works great now. Let's see here. Some people, a lot of people actually were pointing out that the Daybreak mini-map had been a little busted since the last update. That basically, if you're playing Daybreak, the freaks would not show up on the mini-map anymore, which actually made Daybreak significantly harder.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't see bloaters coming, you couldn't see ferals coming, or what direction they were in, and so that's been fixed. So the Daybreak mini-map has been fixed. You can see the freaks now on it when you play Daybreak. Another quick little mini-map change was optional objective icons. So it used to be that optional objectives had gray icons, which kind of blended in against the background of, like, there's a lot of gray in the map. It's a very desaturated map, and they would kind of vanish. It was hard to find the locations of optional objectives on the map. And so now they have a slightly brighter color to them. Krista went in there and just made like a little change to the hue, and it's a little bit easier to see now. So that's pretty nice. Oh yes.
I'm just about to take on a blood plague horde at night.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Should I take a little break here while we?
I can't sneak behind them because they're too sneaky.
But you know what? It's 2:30. Why don't you pause? Let's just pause and relax. And let's go to our community spotlight.
Okay.
So Megan has been looking at a lot of the stuff that you guys post on social media, and has sort of picked out a few images and videos that people have posted. And there are a few of our favorites that have come out in the last week. Why don't we put on our headphones here? You gotta pause that game. Put on your headphones. That's not how you pause. There you go. All right. So first off, I want to point out this image. This image here comes from Bulletproof Beard on Twitter.
I like that name too.
This is how you take care of a juggernaut. Like most people, they just stab them in the head or whatever. But this guy, he knows how to manage his juggernaut situation.
All right, let's see.
All right, so that is that. But let's look at some of these videos. So this first one comes from Adam Survives. So he just noticed that these zombies spawn in exactly the right spot to fall off the roof, and it felt like the kind of thing you'd see in a horror movie, except it was completely procedural and unintentional. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Adam, for pointing that out. Another one that we really liked. This one's a bug,
I would like to point out that Adam Survives posts tons of awesome, funny videos.
Yeah, he's at Adam Exantium1, and I believe his face is actually in our game.
Yes.
So he's definitely worth checking out if you're interested in seeing a lot of interesting State of Decay 2 content. So then we've got this one. Probably one of my favorite vehicle physics bugs I've ever seen.
I don't see the bug.
Well, especially because the soundtrack is just perfect for it. It feels like, right? I should put the credit up here.
Oh, perfect.
So this is from @ArmstrongSean88. Sean
I'm sorry.
Burton posted
Mark
this.
me down as a no.
She is having none of it.
Again, I don't see what's considered a bug there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit hard to see. You have to look really closely.
Do you? Okay.
I think you need one of those little red circles that's on YouTube thumbnails to point out where it is.
My eyesight is a little bad these days, so I may have missed it.
So this is another car bug that we mostly just like this guy's reaction. This is TV. This is Nerd McGee on Twitch.
All right, good job, team.
Yeah, I watched this.
Truck is wrecked. Oh, it's not wrecked. Y'all, our truck's not wrecked. I thought it was wrecked. Oh, we're good. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he's so happy about how his truck works great. Wow, that's not going to end badly at all.
This look.
I did not know.
Precious.
I thought he trashed our car because typically, I don't know what just happened there. Lost 2 doors.
We just know it's coming. So we are.
The look. It's so perfect.
I have also made that look at the camera while playing our game.
I went and followed him immediately after watching this.
I swear to God. Who in the is messing with me at Undead Labs? Is what I want to know.
All of us.
We are so sorry, Nerd McGee, but thank you so much for giving us that.
And there's no way we're
entertainment.
fixing that because that's too hilarious.
So, in real life, physics bugs are some of the hardest things in the world to even attempt to fix. We are always looking for ways that we can try to make this stuff better, and we know it can be really frustrating if you lose a car in the middle of something very important. But at the same time, we really appreciate his good humor about the situation, and his appreciation of the fact that sometimes bad things happen, and you just kind of have to look at the screen, and that's all you can do. Even if you're not streaming, you can always imagine where the camera is in your life, and you can just look at the screen. And do it. Anyway, so that's our community spotlight. One thing that we would love for folks to do is keep sharing this stuff with us. Megan is going to be watching for hashtag funny survivor stories on social media. So if you've got clips that you think are worth checking out, maybe even if you're lucky, getting shared on the stream, use hashtag funny survivor stories, and Megan's going to be keeping an eye out for you.
Yep.
Anyway, we should get back to the game and back to the talking about the patch notes. So we're going to switch things around.
I'm going to go back to being absolutely terrified about playing in Nightmare mode because I'm not as good as most of our players.
Interesting. Blaze Experience says he hasn't seen many Juggernauts lately in his game, and he's wondering if there's a reason, if they're tied to Plague Hearts or something like that. They're not tied to Plague Hearts, and so I'm not sure what would explain it, aside from, either I could imagine there being a bug where if you play for a certain amount of time or certain conditions, maybe something weird will happen with the zombie mix. It could also just be a random number generator issue. That's one of the things that's toughest about trying to assess what's going on in a game like ours that has got so much randomness, so much procedural generation, so much simulation going on. It's hard to know if something is just a weird outlier with the random number generator or if it's actually a thing that's going on like for a reason that we could change or fix.
What is that name?
Zlogwaltia tank? Zlogwaltia tank.
Okay, yeah. Whatever your name is, I agree. I'm going to go back to my desk and build an RPG-7, and hopefully we'll get it in the game, because that's the only way I can fight in this game anymore.
We have to have its whole new ammo type, but, whatever. Let's see here.
Okay, that was a joke. I won't be able to put an RPG-7 in the game, but...
Well, we definitely have to see. That's one of those things where there are guns we can add that work just like other guns, and adding them to the game is not a big deal. There are other guns we could add, or other weapons of various types, that would have fundamentally different mechanics, like the crossbows, for instance. That was a big effort, putting the crossbows into the game, because there's a lot more to a crossbow than just duping a gun and making it look different.
Look at all those glowy red-eye murder rabbits just waiting to descend upon my corpse. Okay, I'm going to go for it. Here we go.
Well, he goes for that. I'm going to find the next patch note.
One down. Oh. None of that worked out how I wanted it.
It'll be fine. You're going to be fine.
That's okay. I will pull the coward move and jump on top of one of those cars.
Oh, so while he's doing that, let me just mention that there used to be a bug where if you drove up to a site that in your vehicle and you got your nose of your vehicle just inside the site, when you got out of your vehicle, you wouldn't see any of the little black boxes that tell you which rooms you've cleared. And they wouldn't appear on the map. And it would be very frustrating to figure out, why can't I clear this building? I don't see any black boxes. So we have fixed that. We fixed the room clearing pips that weren't appearing.
Don't pick him up. Just kill him.
I'm trying to show respect to this battle by not interrupting it too much. I have so many patch notes.
They've seen all this before. They've seen me die many times.
But still, you got to show respect for the soon to be dead.
Well, not when they brought it on themselves by bad choices.
So we had another kind of minor issue that we fixed where if you're talking to a character, let me just read this because it's easy to say it wrong. If you interrupt a subtitle by conversing with an NPC and then exit the conversation while the original line is still playing, the subtitle comes back too. So this is more of an accessibility issue. If you're depending on subtitles in order to understand the dialogue, it would be really frustrating if, like, maybe, say, Lily was going to be saying something over the radio, and then you went to talk to someone, and because you're talking to them, the subtitle goes away. And you're like, wait, I wanted to hear that. So you back out of the conversation, And she's still talking, but the subtitle would be gone, and you would never be able to get it back. Now, if you back out of the conversation real quick and the line's still going, the subtitle still comes back. So that's fixed. And here's an interesting one. So remember how we fixed it so that when the host of your game is driving a car around, and you're a client and you get tethered because they drive too far away, we changed it so that you would get tethered straight into the vehicle rather than getting tethered to the side of the road and then they drive off again. So we've extended that now so that when you're joining a game for the first time and the host is driving a vehicle,
Oh, that is the wrong kind of person. Oh, come on.
you will land in the vehicle just like that zombie landed on Brant's vehicle. Maybe not exactly like that.
That was a super combo of terribleness right there.
There was an issue where clients also in multiplayer games would not be able to use built-in facilities under certain situations. Like if the host switched to a new base, that base's built-ins would not be available to the client. We fixed that bug too. And also we made it so that if you've got one of the buffs that you can get in the game through traits and skills that increase your influence rewards across the game, there was one place where that wasn't working, which was multiplayer rewards. And so now your influence bonuses will apply to your multiplayer rewards. There was another issue where, under certain conditions, you could end up with your map going to a black screen and getting you stuck there. We fixed that, so hopefully that shouldn't be happening to folks anymore. In fact, what were the conditions of that? Oh yeah, that's what it was. Getting tethered while your map was open. That's right. So if you get tethered with your map while your map was open, you would end up with a black screen you couldn't get away from. And by the way, congratulations on your survival, Brant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's completely skill based. No, it was mostly me running around and making sure the zombies didn't ever get past the car I was next to.
So the dude Jumbo wants to know, is it true that after killing all plague hearts, loot gets worse in the map? Because he feels like that's what's been going on with him. To my knowledge, no. Loot and plague hearts, I believe, are on completely different systems. And so if you kill all the plague hearts, the loot, I mean, if you've happened to already have found a lot of the great loot, there might not be much good loot left.
Yeah.
But so it is possible for you to experience loot getting worse over time as you are lucky and you get a lot of the good stuff early. But I don't think there's any mechanism that consciously is making loot worse after the plague hearts are gone. I believe that they operate independently. Brian could come in and tell me I'm wrong about that. And if he does, I'll tell you. But I believe that's how it works. Brian Giammi is typing in Slack right now. He says I'm correct about the loot. That might have been the first time we've summoned Brian, and I was correct. So there we go. We're on an upward trend.
All right.
So okay.
Somebody here.
So there was an issue for a little while where people could grief you with the new bloater gas bombs that came in with Zed Hunter. They could grief you by throwing a bomb at you and then quitting. And so the bomb would forget that it was thrown by a player. And it would just become a random bomb. I don't know where it came from, but it's going to damage you. And so they could actually kill your characters by throwing the bomb and getting out of there. I don't know why they would do that, because they wouldn't be able to enjoy your death, because they wouldn't be able to see it. But I don't understand griefers at all anyway. So
I don't either.
Anyway, but now, if you throw a grenade, the bloater gas exploit doesn't work anymore. If you throw a grenade and then your character goes away, the grenade you threw also goes away.
Yeah.
Which makes that impossible.
Take that, griefers.
This is another one we talked about before. Headshots are less deadly now in Nightmare. They still happen, and they're still really, really bad. But people were getting frustrated a lot because they felt like there was just no way out. Once they got headshotted, they just felt like there was nothing they could do. And so now we've changed it so that not only do you have a little bit more health left than you would normally have when you get headshotted by a hostile human, but after you've been headshotted by a hostile human, oh, hello, there's a little grace period where they're not going to headshot you immediately afterwards. So basically you can't get double tapped by humans anymore, which was what was happening to people to get them really frustrated. And I feel like I should kind of get out of your way for this battle. This one seems...
Oh, don't take the time to do a special scene.
So
I was-
Brant likes to make fun of himself for calling himself not a very good player.
I'm trying to get him to kill these ads.
I would already probably be dead, or at least sick of the blood plague by now, trying to deal with this blood plague jug. Especially with no guns.
Oh, whoa. Wow, that was
Wow,
close.
that was amazing.
Stay away from my car.
So Aqua Pineapple,
Oh, no.
while you're doing this, Aqua Pineapple wants to know, oh yeah, Screamers are a lot scarier now that bringing in additional zombies is a bigger deal in Nightmare. Anyway, Aqua Pineapple wants to know where to find the World War II weapons. There's several different ways to do it. They're in normal loot, so if you go to a gun store, there's as good a chance of finding them as any other gun. The rare versions of them are hidden in in a lot of the rare loot boxes that are scattered throughout the map, so you can find them in there too. Watch the map for a historical weapons trader, because the historical weapons trader sells all of them. So there's a particular one you want. Watch for that trader.
Oh, boy.
They show up at the same rate as all the other traders. So keep your eye out for them, because they will sell all of the weapons. So whichever one is your favorite, you can get it from them. When I say all of the weapons, I think they only just sell the 9 non-rare ones. The rare ones can still only be found in the rare loot boxes. And then also they can spawn in with characters who have certain traits. If you got a character who says that they're a war reenactor or a World War II buff, or they like old-fashioned rifles or something like that, there's a good chance that they might show up with a World War II rifle as well.
Super cool. We had fun making them, for sure. As just an update, this is where I live now.
Yeah, exactly.
My new base, it's a little sparse. There's nothing to it. In fact, it's open to the elements, and yeah, it's not going to be very comfortable. But.
Yeah, one of my favorite missions I've ever worked on is one that we haven't seen yet, where I deliberately put a Juggernaut fight right in the middle of a bunch of tall things you could climb. Just because that's the best way to fight a Juggernaut, is from a place where he can't get to you. Let's see here.
Oh boy, I almost have full plague. Oh, come on.
Barry AA Dillinger wants to know, is it possible to clear every house and every container on the map? Yes.
Yeah.
It is possible. They never come back. And so if you eventually get them all, you've got them all. That's just how it goes.
And then it's time to move.
Yeah. So,
I'm glad we didn't make climbing zombies.
So you guys have all. So Megan, would you mind linking the patch notes again real quick,
Oh.
just to make sure that everybody's got them in all of the chats? Holy crap! How are you ever getting down from here?
I don't know, but so much for that car being, me being able to use that car.
Holy crap! Well, might as well survey while you're up here, I guess.
I'm going to survey. I wanted to see if that car was. Yeah, the car's destroyed.
What's that? Yeah, we just hear it blow up.
I was also hoping to find an RPG-7 up here, but no dice.
Okay, so we had a couple of folks asking, re-asking questions from one of the patch notes I already mentioned. It's the one about multiplayer rewards. So basically, there are certain traits and skills that give you a bonus to every time you get influence. Anything that gives you influence, you get more influence if you have this particular bonus. Except they was not being applied to multiplayer rewards, and so now it is. Somebody asked if negative bonuses were also applied to multiplayer rewards. I'm not sure, because I didn't implement that. So I assume that it might. I think that my baseline assumption would be that it might very well apply. That's where I would start. But it is possible that somebody foresaw that and decided to clamp it at so it doesn't go down. But I couldn't promise you one way or the other on that one. Anyway, I have not been keeping up with the chat because the chat died on me again. But if I hope that Megan did post a link to the patch notes, because the patch notes are going to be useful for our trivia question that we're about to ask. So we've still got a zillion of these State of Decay 2 pins to give away, and so we want to ask you guys a trivia question. Well, actually, well, should I? I don't know. It seems like you're in the middle of a kind of a tense moment. Maybe we should save the trivia question a little bit longer. But I gotta say, there's a really good clue about the answer to the trivia question in the patch notes. So I would have those open if you're really interested in earning this pin. But let's wait until Brant gets into a little bit of a better spot before we switch away.
I'm booking it. I'm running. Legging it.
Well, while you're legging it, I want to point out another thing that's in the patch notes. So the True Grit achievement used to be rewarded when you rolled over to 100 days in a nightmare or dread zone, which is great, except what it meant was you could get to day 99 in a standard zone, switch zones, then roll over to day 100 and get the achievement. Which was, kind of silly.
Still not. I mean, 100 days is still a long time, but I understand.
So if you've already done that, if you were already at day 90 and you've rolled over and now you're on day like 95, you'll still get the achievement. But now, if you've got the update and you switch to a higher level zone now, you're going to have to get the whole 100 days in that zone before you get the True Grit achievement. So good luck with that. And then the rest of the patch notes are minor things, and so let's do our quiz here. So hope you guys have the patch notes open, because I often try to seed the answers to these early on, and I totally did not seed this one. But if you got the patch notes open, or if you just happen to already know because you've been paying a lot of attention to the World War II weapons, maybe you'll know the answer to this already. I just realized there's no reason for me to be wearing these enormous blue headphones. So here's the question. The rare version of the M1918 BAR is named for an historical figure. Who? So there's the question. The rare version of the M1918 bar is named for an historical figure. Who is it? We'll go back to the game, and the way that the game works is, post the answer in the chat as fast as you can. And, nice one, Undead Mark. I love it. He says it's Roseanne Barr. That's not correct. But anyway, so post your answer in the chat. Megan is going to grab the top dozen in each of our platforms, on YouTube, on Mixer, and on Twitch, and then do a random determine who's going to be the winner. And the reason we do that is because we don't want your internet connection to determine your chances of winning. Who's first might have a lot more to do with your hardware than with your trivia knowledge. And so we want to put a little bit of randomness in there so that everyone's kind of got a fair shot at getting it. So
I'm going to send my least useful fighter out to finish that big guy.
So Birdman says it's Justin Bieber. That's a pretty good guess. Danger Zone says my mom. So that's a good one. Yeah, I know. I like that one.
We don't know who your mom is. So.
Noobolution says LeBron James. Does somebody count as an historical figure if they're still around doing things?
No.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna make the call now.
This might be someone who is definitely not around doing things. Who's kind of famous for the moment when they were no longer around doing things.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Kai T wants to know what the highest multiplayer rewards level you can get is, and I don't know the answer to that question. Brian might.
Brian!
So if Brian's listening, he might be able to give us the answer. I don't know that one. So while they're working that out, let me get to the last few little patch notes here. So after the True Grit achievement, difficulty difficulty descriptions. No longer feature warnings when they're obsolete. So basically, if you opened up the difficulty menu, which we don't have to right now, it has warnings about what it means to switch to one of the higher level difficulties. But those warnings used to stick around even after you'd already switched up and when you didn't really need them anymore. And so they go away now when they're supposed to. Another one was we fixed a crash that would occur if you managed to switch difficulties when your last survivor was in the middle of dying. So like if you managed to switch difficulties while like a feral was partway through tearing you in half, the game would crash because it would try to start a new game with you and you've got no survivors because everyone's dead. So that's gone now. That's fixed. Windows in the game, not Windows like the operating system. But windows in our game with multiple panes now break as you would expect rather than quietly violating the laws of physics. So we had a bug where if you could like shoot, I think you could shoot the frame of a window out and the panes would all stay in place, or you could do things in a weird order and it would look kind of silly. Now if you shoot a window, it should break the way it should.
Yay.
We fixed a crash that occurred when the character was killed after being exiled. Game for some reason didn't know what to do with them, and so that used to not happen hardly at all. But now that we're in the nightmare zone, exiled characters are getting killed left and right. So that became a big deal. So we've fixed that one. And then one of my favorites, we fixed a bug that was causing the game to begin without the characters or the world fully spawned in. I think those of you who play the game a lot probably remember what it's like to start up this game And the very first thing you see is kind of a low-res world and a floating backpack just sitting right in front of the camera. And then eventually the character would show up, and the high-res textures would show up, and objects would spawn in, and eventually the game would get its crap together. Now we get all that stuff done before the game starts. So looks a lot more like it was made by professionals, which is great. We're very proud of that.
We keep trying.
we you know.
Fake it till you make it.
So there you go. Those are all the patch notes. So Megan has already posted the location of those. If you want to read over them again, they're on our website, stateofdecay.com. And it looks like we might have some winners. Megan has reported some winners to us. So
Everyone's a winner.
Let's give these things away. So the rare version of the M1918 bar is named for a historical figure. Who was it?
Clyde Barrow.
Clyde Barrow, that's right, of Bonnie and Clyde fame. So a lot of you got it right. The ones who got it the right-est. On Twitch, SciChat1 is going to get a pin. On YouTube, Beaky58 is going to get a pin. And on Mixer, Gothic Soldier 69 is going to get a pin. So congratulations, you guys. Megan's going to try to get in contact with you or get in contact with her. social@undeadlabs.com is how you reach her if for some reason the stars don't align.
I think I should call that group of angry, red-eyed murder squirrels over here.
That sounds great. Yeah, so this is what firecrackers are for in Nightmare Zone, because they don't just distract zombies from you the way they do in the standard zone. You got to use them on zombies that are not already aggroed. Do you have anything to kill them with once they arrive?
I picked up a gun.
Sweet!
But I think I also got on something that they're able to climb.
Are they? I don't know.
But we're going to find out very quickly.
Oh, so backing up to that question that was asked before by Kayente, Tier 5 is the highest multiplayer tier. So if you get Tier 5, you've gotten as high as you can. No point in trying to get any higher. Blaze Experience wants to know if there's any word on whether the World War II weapons will ever appear in Plague Hearts. I don't think there's anything wrong with them appearing. I think that they probably have not been added to the loot list for those things yet. Just that wasn't one of our top priorities, but there's no reason why they couldn't be. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did that. But I don't believe it's that way in this particular update. So I don't expect to find them in Plague Hearts yet, unless Brian's about to tell me otherwise. Don't expect to see them in Plague Hearts yet.
Now I have 2 hordes. This is a perfect example of what not to do in Nightmare.
Is just pull a million zombies to you
Yeah.
in a place where you can't do anything about it. Especially, and you're going to keep firing that gun, and they're going to keep coming.
What? Is there a cause and effect there?
By the way, I like that your the gun icon on your shirt is about the size and shape of the gun icon in the HUD. Like, I feel like you... Oh, careful. You got a friend.
Oh, hey, Johnny Farrell.
Yeah.
This is the last person I wanted to join this party.
That Farrell and I are in cahoots. I distracted you at just the perfect moment.
Okay, I'm going to get my... before he gets back up here. Come on up.
Yeah,
I'm ready for you now.
Brian verifies that you cannot get the World War II weapons in Plague Hearts yet, but he thinks it would be worthwhile for us to do it for a future content update. So I would not be surprised if you saw that in the future.
So, are we ready to end the stream yet? Because
There's one more good question from Victor Degalo. It is a Brian question. He wants to know, do you have to start a new community or change maps to find the weapons, or can I find them in the maps I'm playing on right now? I believe that because we don't actually spawn the loot inside the containers...
the last place I want to be is...
Because we don't actually spawn them, we only spawn them, we roll the dice each time you search a container. I believe that if we update the loot, it should just already be in the maps. If you go back to a map you're already playing, you should be able to roll those guns from the containers. But... Yep, Brian confirms that. Yeah, so they do appear immediately. So you get into a game that you're already playing, you should be able to get the World War II guns immediately from any container you have not already searched. If you've already searched a container, obviously, it's still empty. But any of the ones that you have not yet opened, they could contain the World War II guns if they're capable of containing guns, period.
Yeah,
So
jump up.
best places to look are, the shacks that have the antlers out front, gun stores, surplus stores. Did you just take him out? I thought you
Yes.
were going to get killed for the end of the... Oh, whatever.
Do you want me to?
No, I don't actually. These characters have really great names, and I'm really proud of you for keeping them all alive this entire time.
Now the question is, can I make the run back? I've got soda pop. I think it's time.
Okay, go for it. Let's see. Yeah, this is gonna be the last thing. Let's see if we can
I
make
think
it
it's
home.
time.
Run home! Run! Run! Now there's not a Pharaoh. You actually have a decent shot at this. And then as soon as you get home, let's quit.
Yep.
So that the zombies don't get in.
Running, running, running.
I wonder if there... I mean, I don't see any dots behind you. You might have outpaced them.
I am not stopping to look. Not stopping. Because this flimsy little fence is the only thing I've got.
I can't believe we made it. Okay, so this is... I feel like this was a pretty good stream, right? We went through some patch notes. We spotlighted some community stuff. And guys, remember, hashtag funny survivor stories.
Yes.
If you want to you know, we're not... I mean, if you guys share a lot of stuff, there's no way we're going to be able to show everything on the next stream. But Megan's going to watch them all. We're going to pick a few really cool ones. And we're going to try to do this more often. Try to share this stuff. By the way, credit to Joe Swarner for having this idea. He came in here and watched me setting up the stream. He's like, you know what would be great? Is if we could spotlight some community videos and stuff, because he's been seeing all this stuff on social media,
Yep.
and he gets tagged on a lot of these things, and so he
Undead
wanted to
Jawa.
share it. Undead Jawa. So you guys have Undead Jawa to thank if you end up enjoying this feature of the stream, and let us know what you think of all this stuff on the social medias.
That's right.
So anyway,
Thanks.
thank you all so much for being here. You were going to say something.
Just the thing I always say. We love you guys. Thanks so much for your support. We love days like this where we can confirm that we've shipped stuff to make your lives better in the game. We're always trying to improve it. Thanks for sticking with us, and we couldn't do it without you.
And we're not stopping here.
Nope.
So keep your eyes open. There's a lot more coming. And we're going to be back here next week with Scarproof, one of our favorite members of our community, as our guest. So we'll be getting him in here, and or maybe not physically in here, maybe in here via magic
of technology.
Magic of technology. So anyway, if you want to keep talking to us, bother us both on social media, and we will see you all later.
Yep.
Look at our beautiful end screen. It's great. 15 seconds.